Hello, friends. Welcome to Read Glow. Today, we're going to talk about the book The Mind is Everything. Control it or it controls you. Raju was a boy from a small village. His life was very simple. Waking up early, working the fields, and returning home in the evening to either watch a little TV or sit with friends at the tea shop. But one thing that happened often with him was negativity. Even the smallest thing, he would blow out of proportion. Once, a motivational speaker from the city came to his village. Everyone was called to the community hall. Raju was curious, so he went. One line there shook him. Your mind creates your reality. Raju was a little confused at first, but the speaker told a short story that touched his heart. Two people were sitting in the same room. It was raining outside. One looked out the window and said, "Ugh, the weather is so bad. Nothing feels good." The other looked and said, "Wow, the rain is so beautiful. The smell of soil, the cool breeze, this moment feels so peaceful." Now think, did the rain change? No, only their perspective changed. Something started making sense to Raju. The next day, when he went to fields as usual, some problems arose. The plow broke, seeds fell, and the sun was blazing. Earlier, he would have gotten irritated. But that day he asked himself, can I look at this differently? He thought, so what if the plow broke? I can fix it. Good that it happened now. If it had broken in the middle of sowing, the damage would be worse. Seeds fell? Fine, I'll realign them properly. And this harsh sunlight? This is real hard work that will bear fruit. That day, for the first time, he felt like his mind was controlling his experience. Gradually, he started paying attention to his negative thoughts. Whenever a situation came up, he would ask himself, can I reframe this? One day, a friend jokingly said to him, you won't do anything big. You'll just stay in the fields. Earlier, Raju's mood would have gone bad. He'd stay quiet and keep thinking about it for days. But this time, Raju thought, that's his opinion, not my reality. Maybe he's scared to pursue his own goals. I'm learning something new every day. Slowly, he began changing his mindset. He started doing affirmations. I am capable. I am growing. I choose how I feel. Now, whenever a challenging moment came, like crops getting spoiled by rain or financial troubles, he would ask himself, what can I learn from this? One day, his younger brother Ramesh was very upset because he did badly in his exam. Raju said to him, brother, your mind sees what you show it. If you say you can't do it, you really won't. But if you say, now I understand what was lacking and next time I'll do better, believe me, you will. Ramesh was surprised and asked, since when did you start speaking so deep? Raju laughed and said, since I realized that the world isn't as it seems, it is as we think. Raju made a rule in his life. Every event is neutral. I decide its meaning. Once, a big opportunity came to go to the city and learn organic farming. At first, Raju got scared. What if I say something wrong in front of people? What if they laugh? Then he asked himself, can I reframe my thoughts? He thought, even if they laugh, so what? At least I tried. What I learned won't just help me, but the whole village. He went, he learned, and when he returned, there was new confidence in him. Now, every morning he'd say, today I choose how I feel. I am the creator of my experience. Gradually, his circle changed too. He now hung out with people who talked about growth, not complaints. One day, a child in the village came to him and said, everyone says I'm weak and bad at studies. Is it true I can't do anything? Raju smiled and said, you are what you think. If you say, I can't, then you won't. But if you say, I can do it slowly, then you will awaken a strength inside you that even you haven't seen. That child quietly left, and 2 months later, he won an award at a science fair. That day again, Raju felt, the mind is everything. We have thousands of thoughts every day, but we don't control all of them. What thought to hold on to and what to let go, that is our decision. Reality isn't created outside. Reality is created inside. Whenever we say, I'm unlucky, my fate is bad. nothing good can happen. The mind starts showing us that exact reality. But when we say, I'll try, I have strength, there's something to learn in everything. Then the world actually starts changing. Raju's life was still simple. Fields, village, plow, rain, everything was the same. But his perspective had changed. And when perspective changes, the whole world changes. Now, he looked at every event as a gift, whether painful or joyful. He found a new meaning in it, because now Raju understood. The mind doesn't just reflect the world, it creates the world. Raju's life had improved a bit. He had new confidence and clarity, that his mind creates his reality. But the real transformation didn't stop there. It truly began when one day, even though everything seemed normal, Raju felt confused and anxious. That morning, his mother said, "Son, let's start a side business along with farming. Let's try selling organic vegetables at the market outside the village." Raju liked the idea, but suddenly a flood of thoughts came. Can I do it? What if I face losses? Am I capable enough? Who will help? How will I manage everything? In a single moment, his mind started jumping all over, like a monkey leaping from branch to branch. He said to himself, I had so much clarity a few days ago. Why does everything feel so confusing now? By afternoon, he hadn't done anything, neither gone to the fields nor done any household work. He just sat on the roof, trapped in endless internal conversations. Should I or shouldn't I? In the evening, he met his friend Sham. Seeing Raju lost, Sham asked, "What's wrong?" Raju told him everything, how an exciting idea had left him full of doubts. Sham laughed and said, "Bro, your mind needs training." Raju was surprised. "What do you mean?" Sham explained, "Just like an untrained horse can throw its rider off, an untrained mind can mess up a person's life. An untrained mind means overthinking everything, fearing every possibility, doubting every decision. All this creates a chaotic life." Raju stayed quiet for a while and asked, "Then what should we do? How do we train the mind?" Sham said, "Awareness, bro. First, understand that your mind is taking control of you. The moment you realize confusion is coming from inside, not outside, that's the beginning." That night, Raju made a promise to himself. From now on, he'd observe the activity of his mind. Next day, he picked up a small notebook and decided that whenever his mind was racing with thoughts, he would write them down. The moment his mom repeated the business idea, the same fears returned. But this time, Raju stopped himself and said, "Wait, where are these fears coming from?" He wrote, "I've never been to the market before. I have no guidance, so I fear failure. I'm worried about what people will say. I'm afraid all my efforts will go to waste." After writing, he looked at each one. If I've never worked in the market, I can learn. Guidance can come. Sham or the mentor can help. Fear of failure is natural, but without trying, I won't gain anything. And people say things all the time. I can't control that. Slowly, he realized, when he observed his thoughts, he felt calm. One day, he watched a YouTube video that said, "Your thoughts are not facts." That line touched him deeply. He felt, what's happening in my mind isn't truth. It's just stories my mind is creating. He began practicing meditation. Every morning, he sat silently for 10 minutes, eyes closed, just watching the movements of his mind. Sometimes old memories came, sometimes fears, sometimes fantasies, but he just watched and said, "I see you, thought, but I won't follow you." Gradually, he gained clarity. When any tough decision came up, he didn't react, he observed. He asked, is this clarity from my trained mind or confusion from my untrained mind? Once, he had planned to go to the market. Just before catching the bus, his mind said, "Don't go. The weather is bad. People will be rude. It'll be a waste of time." Earlier, he would have stopped, but now he told himself, "These are excuses from my fearful mind. But my trained mind knows action is transformation." He went to the market, nervous at first, but slowly started interacting with the shopkeeper. He learned, When the mind creates fear, doubt, or worry, and we blindly trust it, life becomes chaotic. But when we stay aware, yes, I feel fear, but that doesn't mean I can't act, then life becomes stable. Now, before every decision, he paused, observed what was going on in his mind, then decided whether to follow a thought or let it go. He had learned to observe his emotions and thoughts. Now, he had begun to recognize the patterns behind every reaction. But still, sometimes there came moments when his mind started to feel uncontrollable again, like a storm of thoughts, impossible to stop. One evening, while returning from the market, he ran into his old friend Suraj. Suraj invited him for tea, and during the conversation, Suraj told him about his new business in the city, how he had started a small startup, and now even investors were showing interest. There was enthusiasm in Suraj's words, and a certain glow too. Raju was listening to him intently. But as soon as he reached home, a turmoil started in his mind. I've spent all these years in the village. I wish I could have done something like this. Maybe I've been left behind. Maybe my life isn't that valuable. The old Raju would have drowned in these thoughts, but now he could catch them. Still, that day was different. He asked himself, there's awareness, then why is this thought coming again and again? It felt like his mind was repeating one thing again and again. You're not doing anything big. You're ordinary. Raju started fighting with himself. He told himself, stop thinking this now. It's negative. There's no use in it. But the more he tried to stop himself from thinking, the faster his mind started racing. He couldn't sleep that night. He kept tossing and turning. Suddenly, he understood control doesn't mean suppression. He remembered, many times we think controlling a thought means stopping it, suppressing it. But the mind doesn't work like that. If you tell your mind, don't think about fear, it creates even more fear. It's like telling a child, don't make noise at all, and he starts making even more noise. Raju got up, opened his journal, and wrote, control is not suppression. It's about observation, redirection, and choice. Now he adopted a new approach. Whenever a disturbing thought came, he would say to himself, okay, I see you've come. No problem. But now I'll choose whether you'll sit with me or not. One day, his little brother Ramesh came crying while playing with his friend. He said, I'm very angry. My friend is not listening to me. Raju hugged him and asked, do you want the anger to go away? Ramesh said, yes, I don't feel good. Raju said, don't fight it. Just watch it and understand why it came. Ramesh stayed quiet for a bit and then said, because he. The sentence kept repeating with no conclusion, like a mental spiral. Because he didn't listen to me, and I felt like my words had no value. Raju smiled and said, see, you observed your emotion. Now you can choose what to do with it. Do you want to talk to your friend again, or stay silent and let the anger grow inside? Raju now practices himself. Instead of suppressing every thought, he observed and gently redirected it. One day, he was plowing the field, and in his mind came the recurring thought, am I really growing in life, or is it just an illusion? At first, he became worried. Then he stopped the plow, sat under a tree and told himself, okay, mind, you want to ask? Ask. He asked himself one by one, do I think better than before? Yes. Am I able to help others? Yes. Have I connected with myself? To a great extent. Yes. Then he told his mind, look, you can doubt, but I won't let you dominate. I will listen to you. I will understand you, but the final decision will be mine. A deep calm settled inside him. Now Raju started a small exercise. Every time an unwanted thought came, he would write it down. Below it, he'd write 3 things. Why did this thought come? Do I believe it or not? What am I choosing now? Gradually, his mind started adapting to a new pattern. He understood that controlling thoughts is not a battle. It's a practice, choosing every time, gently redirecting every time. One day, at the village gathering, someone falsely blamed him. Raju has become arrogant. Now he thinks he's a village guru. It hurt Raju deeply. Earlier, he would have justified himself, gotten angry, or tried to explain. But this time he just told himself, let me just observe this pain. He didn't stop or hide the insult. He just saw it, accepted the insecurity behind that pain. Then he asked, what do I choose now? Do I explain myself or just stay silent and let my work speak? He smiled and walked away without saying a word. Now people asked him, Raju, how do you stay so calm? Don't you get negative thoughts? He replied, I do, but now I don't fight them. I observe them, understand them, and then choose how much attention to give them. Raju's life had become a meditation. Control for him had become a discipline of kindness, not scolding the mind but gently explaining. He placed a small board in his yard. It read, don't fight your thoughts. Understand them. Redirect them. Now kids, elders, everyone came to him whenever they felt heavy inside. Raju only said one thing. Your thoughts are not your enemies. They're talking to you in your own language. Just listen, observe, then lovingly direct them. When he went to the field, plowing, watering, his mind stayed calm. Sometimes old regrets came, sometimes future worries. But now he knew the mind isn't to be stopped, it's to be guided. And that was his true mastery. Control through compassion, not force. Raju was no longer just a farmer. He had become the gardener of his mind. Every thought was a seed. He chose which seed to plant and which to blow away before they touched the soil. His life was no longer just about living. It was about understanding and choosing. That was a real control, soft, silent, and truly powerful. Now mornings in the village had changed. Earlier, people would rush to their fields. Now, slowly, people started gathering outside Raju's house. He had created a small space, simple, just a mat, a small bell, and a pot of water. This space had become a corner of peace, where people sat for 5 to 10 minutes every morning to meditate. Raju's meditation journey didn't start suddenly. It happened slowly, like a seed becoming a plant. He remembered when he first started meditating, he couldn't sit still for even 2 minutes. Thoughts came from all directions. Old regrets, future fears, random voices, random ideas. He used to think, meditation is not for me. My mind is too active. But then he realized, a busy mind is not a reason to avoid meditation. It's the biggest reason to do it. He promised himself, I'll sit for just 5 minutes every day, no matter what. In the beginning, he used a timer on his phone and closed his eyes. He didn't feel peace. Sometimes it felt like the silence brought even more chaos. But he didn't give up. Gradually, his mind started to settle. Earlier, restlessness began after 2 minutes. Now, he could sit peacefully for 4 minutes. Then came the day he focused on his breath for 10 minutes, with no major distraction. He realized, just like physical muscles are built in the gym, mental muscles are built through meditation. One day, after working hard in the fields, a laborer said, Brother, your face looks fresh. Don't you get tired? Raju smiled and said, The body gets tired, but when the mind is recharged, all exhaustion becomes manageable. His meditation had now become his inner strength, invisible from the outside, but helping him stay steady in every challenge. One day, a major dispute happened in the village over water supply. 2 areas were fighting. The council made Raju the mediator because everyone trusted him to be calm and fair. That day, during the discussion, there was tension all around, anger, blame, but Raju just noticed his breath. He kept himself grounded. His calmness was contagious. Slowly, voices began to soften. People listened. A solution came out. After the meeting, an elder asked, Son, why didn't you get angry? How did you stay so calm after all that? Raju said, Because I sit with myself for 10 minutes every day, in silence. That silence taught me, not every reaction is necessary. Now more villagers were getting interested in meditation. Raju taught them in a simple way. Meditation is not a religious practice. It's mental hygiene. Just like we bathe our body, We must clean our mind a little every day. Just sit for 5 minutes. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. If a thought comes, let it go, like clouds drifting in the wind. No force. No guilt. One day, Ramesh, who used to be very restless, said after meditating, "Brother, for the first time, my mind felt slow, like all thoughts slowed down." Raju said, "That's the real beginning. When the mind gives you space, clarity comes." Now, for Raju, meditation was not just a way to find peace. It became a daily necessity. One day in the market, he had a very stressful day. A buyer spoke rudely, without any reason. Earlier, Raju would have been upset for hours. Now, he just sat for 5 minutes, meditated, reset his mind, and was back to normal. He knew now daily meditation was giving him inner fitness. Just like going to the gym daily strengthens muscles, meditation was improving his patience, awareness, and focus every day. One day it rained heavily. The fields were flooded. Most farmers were worried, but Raju sat on the porch in a meditative posture. Raindrops were falling. He was just feeling his breath. Someone asked, "Raju, aren't you worried?" Raju said, "What will worry do? I'll take action. But before action, I'll keep myself calm." Meditation has taught me that. Now Raju had made meditation a part of his morning routine. He used to say, "These 5 minutes are the foundation of my day. If this is strong, the rest of the day stays stable." Once, he went to the city to speak at an exhibition on organic farming. There was a big crowd, cameras, lights, mics. At first, he felt nervous. Then he stepped back, closed his eyes for 2 minutes, took some deep breaths, and told himself, "You are centered. You are clear." On stage, he spoke so calmly and naturally that the organizer said, "You have a different kind of presence. Don't you get nervous?" Raju smiled and replied, "I do, but I meditate daily, so I give that nervousness space. I don't give it control." Now, when any young person in the village says, "I want to control my mind," Raju only says one thing: sit for 5 minutes every day. Do nothing. Just observe your mind, like you watch a river from the shore. No judgment, no effort. Gradually, those 5 minutes will become your biggest strength. A few months later, meditation became a weekly practice in the village school. Kids were learning to sit quietly. Teachers felt more patient. Raju's story was no longer just about the village. It had become part of many others' journeys. But his biggest victory wasn't that people knew him. It was that he knew himself. One evening, sitting on the roof of his old mud house, stars were shining in the sky. A cool breeze was blowing, a warm cup of tea in his hands. He looked at the sky and thought to himself, "It all began the day I sat for just 2 minutes and stopped running from myself." Now he had no doubt, no confusion. His mind still produced thoughts, but he no longer wrote on them. He observed them, understood them, and just sat there smiling. And that was the final destination of his journey, where Raju understood the mind is not to be controlled. It is to be nourished every day for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. And slowly, an ordinary man had built an extraordinary world of peace and clarity inside him. That was his real richness. That was his real success. So, friends, this was our book summary today. Let us know in the comments how you liked it. And thank you for listening till the end.